I would like to invite you all to gather together around here. Just let's break this very sort of Western model of academia that we should all question. And yeah, just let's get together and become those thinking bodies that we are when we talk about coexistence.
Oh God, exactly. It was the same thing.
So yeah, I invite you all to gather a little bit closer here. And let's just like, how are our thinking bodies this afternoon? Are we really quite jaded from PowerPoints?
Cold. Lots of people are saying it's very cold in here.
Okay. I'm not going to make you hot, but perhaps internally. So I invite you all to just check with your body, perhaps wriggle through your sit bones. Make sure you relax your shoulders down, really plant your feet down, maybe lift up your big toes and then press them down firmly, ground through the heels. And if it's comfortable for you, then gently allow your eyes to close. And just see if you can gather yourself around your nervous system. And just have a good check-in. How you feeling now? How your thinking body is landing on this chair in this moment. And then you can bring all of your awareness onto your breath. So have a good check-in with your inhale and then with your exhale. So this is very basic gesture and entry towards this reciprocal respiration and the dance of communing that we all are part of it. Each breath we take is part of the bigger dynamic of the living, complex world around us. So just acknowledge that with your next couple of inhales and exhales. And after your next exhale, bring one of your palm on your chest, the other one on your belly. And just see how you can sense the wave of this reciprocal respiration and the dance of communing underneath your fingertips. If you can gather it in the little spirals on your tips, on the tips of your fingers. And invite this focused dance between the senses, the sensation of your touch, perhaps how it relates to the sensation of your hearing. Just invite this image of listening spiral. How this spiral in your ear is connected with the little spirals on your fingertips. And after your next exhale, you can bring both your palms on front of your eyes. And here you can take a moment to sense into the taste inside your mouth and feel the warmth of your breath. And again, just acknowledge this sort of shared space of imagination that we coexist within. And then gently allow your eyes to open within your palms. And then relax your palms down. And I invite you all to partake in the practice that I've been enjoying since last summer, of threading rowan berries as my ancestors were doing. And so this is just an invitation again from this shared space of imagination, just enter this artwork. So I think about those lines being like a line of a drawing. So you can gather and pick up and adorn yourself, or just touch it. And then acknowledge that each one is like a little apple, is a seed, is a fruit, is a relationship with the land, with time, with all sorts of different complexities. So there should be enough for everyone. You can pull up the line and enter these drawings. And you can also gather, I have also only 3 sound effigies that I made from the prunings from my garden as well. And they are raw ones. And you can gather that as well and pass around and just listen. Let's all listen to this freshness. And if I could get help to put this all on the screen, that would be lovely. Don't bother. We don't see this on the screen.
Something that I have.
So I will carry on without the PowerPoint behind me, which is actually a better sort of ambience and atmosphere for my work, I believe so. So this should give you a real sense of the artistic practice I'm engaged with. So I work with expanded notion of art, and very much I'm sort of moved from creating just objects. I have a traditional training as a ceramicist and a painter, but I moved towards working with art as a social sculpture. So I very much building on ideas of Joseph Beuys, German artist, who was saying that we all are capable of sculpting our lives. So his thing was the social sculpture and the idea that everyone is an artist. And as seen, you can see my students, we all are inside some space, we all co-creating together and starting with the space of our imagination. So I'm building spaces, and all of this is rooted and grounded in my art practice that is
It's
a
okay,
land
don't worry.
practice. So through my PhD, through really long-term engagement with and having a time and space for developing this practice, I developed the way of working that is really grounded in experiential, embodied, and everyday practice. And this involves a lot of different set of practices and processes. So as you can see here, I make beehives, I make figurines, I make beekeeping devices.
Really sick.
And I make food. So this is something I was brought up with. Those sorts of wonderful biophotonic beings captured in those colorful jars. I make log beehives, tinctures.
I'm trying to, but every time I try to burp, something
structures
comes up,
that can be inhabited and walked through. This is again this idea of art that can be penetrated and really can surround you. I make different type of beehives. They are called on the continent spirit hives. And on top of them is something that within this construct is called talismanic talismans, terraforming talismans. So they hold different seeds that I collect and gather from my forest garden. But what is the most important that I invite animation into these structures. So I had this gymnasium gallery for 2 months, and I invited a lot of different practitioners to sort of enliven and animate this space with their own idiosyncratic, peculiar practices, exhibitions, performances, talks, and so on. And the same was the case with the projects at the Baltic Gallery in Gateshead. But Baltic is a very strict institution, so some things were not allowed there. So I have to compromise some aspects in terms of public participation within this context. This is another project that actually happened over the weekend. So we sort of built this encampment in this overgrown and abandoned tennis court, also in barracks, and we sort of gathered together, build a shelter, build a stove, we cook together, eat together. We also gather wild yeast from the site that we used to imbibe magical brew with, ambrosia. And yeah, we sort of try to imagine what we want from this space. Do we want to conserve, change, make it into the same sort of manicure landscape that surrounds this abandoned site? And I think I don't know if there was consensus, but there was some sort of gathering that we should keep it. We should keep it semi-wild. We should keep it what it is and just create a little clearing for coming together. And this is the dance of commoning. So through really this commitment to something, a practice, I also sense that art really just happens. And it happens in those moments of collective effervescence, of those moments of coming together. So this is a project that I've done with Jo Sallis at Newcastle University. We call this Dance of Commoning, Forest Garden Effervescence. So we invited people to this practice with us. And all the shakers were made of prunings from our gardens. And there were also whistles and flutes and didgeridoo-like objects that were also made from the plants that we grow. And we had a structure to follow that sort of mimic the journey of the sun through the day and how it connects with the growth. And this is a project that became very dear to my heart, and I guess to echo some sort of this conversation that we all carry on throughout the days about coexistence. So I guess there is this one aspect of creative practice that is about my commitment to practice, the practice that makes practice, but it's also incredible privilege that I had that I could work with a group of women since the summer 2024. And what you can see here is an effigy that we make for spring equinox, and we made this collectively with women. So the project started as an exploration of, they are all Polish, like myself, of our migrant stories. They had their research questions, but project is carry on, and we sort of celebrate our uprootedness in a way of celebrating ritual calendar. So we come together on those sorts of very pivotal moments in the year, as we do this for the spring equinox, making Marzanna effigy, and then drowning it and burning it or drowning it.
Something stuck on my stomach, it doesn't go.
And what is very important about this coming together, even though there was some expectations for
Yeah, I can't stand
initial
that.
artwork,
The
then we
falafel
also
and
realized that really what brings us together